¿Cómo le va? ¿Cómo está usted? And on top of that, how are you doing? This is Tuesday, and we are finishing up chapter 6 of Hebrews. Boy, it's had some warnings in it, and now there's great comfort at the end of the chapter. Listen as I read. We have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure, the promise of God and salvation through Christ. It enters the inner sanctuary behind the curtain. Oh, now he's leading us to thought of the priest. So the Jews had a priest that once a year could go into the Holy of Holies on Yom Kippur, and that priest would represent them that day, sprinkle the Ark of the Covenant with blood, and it was the Day of Atonement. He's now saying, you think that was good? We have a priest, a high priest, who represents us. It enters the inner sanctuary behind the curtain where our forerunner, Jesus, has entered on our behalf. Jesus has entered into heaven after dying. Let me get that. Come on, let's get it. Jesus died on the cross, rose from the dead, and entered into heaven on my behalf, your behalf. You have a high priest representing you in heaven itself, not in some physical building, nothing in Jerusalem. Heaven, we're talking heaven. He's entered on our behalf. He has become a high priest forever in the order of Melchizedek. So now he's saying this is a much higher priesthood. Now notice this. The promise to Abraham were made, and Abraham believed God, and it was counted to him for righteousness. That happened 400 years before the law. So the law was added just to show the sinfulness of sin, never as a way of salvation, because the faith way that Abraham exhibited happened 400 years earlier. Now, the writer is saying we have a better priesthood than Moses outlined when he received commands from God, and Aaron and the priesthood under his brother Aaron. He said Jesus was a priest, but not by the order of Aaron. That would be human-like. But Melchizedek is mentioned, as we're going to find out, in Genesis, and he's this mysterious figure that predates Aaron's priesthood. So now let's follow it into chapter 7. This Melchizedek was king of Salem. Aaron was never a king. This Melchizedek was king of Salem, which means peace, and priest of God Most High. He met Abraham returning from the defeat of the kings, the 5 kings, a war back there in Genesis, and blessed him. And Abraham gave him 1/10 of everything. First, the name Melchizedek means king of righteousness, then also king of Salem, which means king of peace. Without father or mother, without genealogy, without beginning of days or end of life, resembling the Son of God, he remains a priest forever. So what is that about? He's saying to us, we have a priest representing us who's through the order of Melchizedek, who is this mysterious figure that Abraham meets after winning a victory through God's grace. And he's returning, and he meets this priest king. He wasn't Jewish because Abraham was the father of the Jewish people, and Melchizedek was not one of his children. Who is Melchizedek? He's this mysterious person who's a king, a priest. Some think he was the Son of God in human form in the Old Testament. Like some people think it's like when the Bible says the angel of the Lord, not an angel, but the angel of the Lord, who's addressed as divinity. And they point out like, no, see, without father, without mother, without genealogy, without beginning of days or end. That doesn't sound like a regular guy, a regular priest. So God prophetically was preparing us for the priesthood of Jesus by bringing Melchizedek on the scene. And he was greater than Abraham because Abraham paid tithes and gave offerings to Melchizedek, king of Salem and priest of the Most High. All of this is to tell us, rest secure that Jesus is the greater high priest representing us now in heaven, a line of priesthood unknown to the Jewish people. Resembling the Son of God, he remains a priest forever. Just think how great he was. Even the patriarch Abraham gave him a tenth of the plunder. Now the law requires the descendants of Levi who become priests to collect a tenth from the people, that is, from their fellow Israelites, even though they are also descended from Abraham. This man, however, Melchizedek, did not trace his descent from Levi, yet he collected a tenth from Abraham and blessed him who had the promises. I read more, and without doubt, the lesser, Abraham, is blessed by the greater. In the one case, the tenth is collected by people who die, Levi, the priest. But in the other case, by him who is declared to be living, he received that promised, that tithe. So what's the whole this stuff which sounds like a trail off the beaten track? He's trying to prove here and remind the Jewish believers, don't go back to the law. Don't go back to a physical priest representing us here on earth and going into some physical temple. We have Jesus as our high priest. We don't need a Roman Catholic priest. They might be busy. They might be doing bad things. They're human. We have our high priest, Jesus. You know, by the way, you know how to reach him? He's as close as the mention of his name. He's representing us to God. What an incredible thought. I have a priest not wearing black garb with a turnaround collar. I have Jesus, the Son of God, interceding for me in heaven. Oh, we're secure today through Jesus. Let's rejoice in it. Blessings and see you tomorrow.